Here we are going around the world and looking at the various situations that people with disabilities face when we fly. So last time we were in the United Kingdom, and so we're going to move over to Canada. We are going to focus on one airline. I'm not going to focus on the negative because that's been all over the news, and Air Canada has already received their black eye. But and Air Canada recognizes this comes from Secession News, and so it has an article by news provided by Air Canada. So this is Air Canada speaking directly to us. So this is Air Canada has many difficulties handling people with disabilities over the last few years. It does have a 4-star rating as an airline. However, I think they need to be sincere and honest in terms of that rating right now until they get things back up to where they should be in terms of their quality of service. But here are the words from Air Canada directly. So the title is Air Canada Takes Action to Improve Experiences for Customers with Disabilities. This is comes from Montreal, November 9, 2023. Air Canada today announced a series of measures to reduce barriers and make travel simpler, more comfortable, and consistently reliable for customers with disabilities. The actions being taken will accelerate Air Canada Accessibility Plan for 2023 to 2026. So this is a 3-year plan in which we'll be working on those details, training for staff, how they interact with people with disabilities, how they handle us, etc. So a 3-year strategy released in June and are intended to reduce or eliminate major sources of dissatisfaction and trip disruption for customers with disabilities. And they put out a simple plan, but then there's articles, breaking down each one of those. So Air Canada recognizes the challenges customers with disabilities encounter when they fly and accepts its responsibility to provide convenient and consistent services so that flying with them becomes easier. Sometimes we do not meet this commitment, for which we offer a sincere apology. As our customers with disabilities tell us, the most important thing is that we continuously improve, and in the future, we are listening to them, and today we are committing to do better and demonstrating that commitment with concrete actions, said Michael Rousseau, President and Chief Executive Officer of Air Canada. Now, Air Canada has had to pay a lot of fines over the last year, I would say, due to a lot of mishaps, from losing wheelchairs to breaking wheelchairs to injuries to customers to, it goes on. And I think those people who are from Canada or fly to Canada often know about the stories. So I don't want to get into that again, but, I do want to put out what Air Canada is going to work on in the next 3 years, and hopefully from right now. So immediate measures stated from Air Canada. Boarding customers at the gate who request lift assistance will be consistently boarded first before all other customers and proactively seated at the front of the cabin they booked. Air Canada is investing significantly in new equipment at Canadian airports, such as lifts. And, I want to point out to other airlines as well that lifts are a way to remain safe when they have to pick up someone. I don't recommend that staff ever pick someone up because that is tricky and it's difficult. And if somebody has to let go, well, their customer just going to hit the floor. So lifts are much more safer for them to use as a tool and to keep the staff safe and to keep the customer safe. So that is a wise thing to do. I would never let them pick me up. You know, I can still transfer with my hands. I use some special gloves when I'm transferring so I don't slip. So to ensure that we meet the expectations of our customers. So they're getting more lifts in the airports, and that's a wise thing to do for any airline. So I want to say, Air Canada, that's the right move. Storage of mobility aids. Mobility aids will be stored in the aircraft cabin when possible. Of course, when mobility aids are stored in the cargo hold, new systems are being put in place to track them in transit. So that's good, including a process to confirm mobility aids are properly loaded before departure. Thank goodness. Customers traveling within Canada will be able to track the journey of their mobility aid using the Aid Canada app. The airline is adopting new process to load mobility aids in the aircraft holds to ensure our customers' mobility aid arrive safely, because they've broken a lot of wheelchairs, folks. So training, and this is crucial. You just can't put out, rules there and throw instruments out there and tags and tracking if you don't train your staff. So training. Enhanced training will be supplied to improve all aspects of employee interactions with customers with disabilities, including understanding customer experiences in air travel. Air Canada, approximately 10,000 airport employees will receive this training as part of the new annual recurrent training program. So, thank you. This will consist of both soft skill and equipment training. That's what I was saying. You can throw all the equipment out there you want, but if the staff are not trained, then you got a problem. Such as lifting techniques, customers with disabilities will be invited to make presentations at employee workshops and provide advice on further process developments. So this is really important to involve the people with disabilities in the process, because we are the ones who are the customers who are affected, who have a lot of experience in being transferred and being picked up and being guided, and for people to be patient with us as we get from point A to point B. Responsibility, and this is an important one. Air Canada has created the new senior position of Director, Customer Accessibility. She will lead a team to manage implementation of the company's accessibility plan, as well as provide a resource and common reference point to responsive management of disability issues. So I think this is part of the article is the most important. It's a longer article, and I certainly will leave the link down below so you can read the rest of it. This is like the worst case scenario airline. So, and I'm very sorry for Air Canada, but I want to say to Air Canada directly in this post is that, you can become first. You can become at the beginning of the line. You can become the example for other airlines to come from the bottom of the hole to the top and say, this is the way to do it. This is the way we succeeded in improving our interaction with our customers with disabilities. And it has worked for us. We're offering it as an example, but you got to work on it. You got to practice it. Everybody has to be committed. Not so much for, oh, yeah, another training. No, really to believe in it, to believe that the customer service is crucial. I'm not saying in a plastic way. I'm saying as a commitment, as the people with disabilities are consumers. We are consumers, we are customers, and we need to fly just like everybody else to see our family, to get to a job, to get to a conference, to, so many things. So we want and need to fly. So how do we do that in a safe manner? And here's my recommendation to Air Canada today. Delta in the United Kingdom had developed a model for wheelchairs and power wheelchairs to be put in the bulkhead and for us to drive in and get locked in there and strapped down. They need testers, because now they have to go to the testing phase. So Air Canada, my suggestion is that you reach out to Delta and offer to be a tester and pull out that one seat, and it'll convert to a seat if you just have a regular customer, and if you put it up, then it's ready for a wheelchair user. So, prepare those bulkheads, reach out to Delta and say, hey, we're offering to be a tester for you. So that could be, that could also help your reputation and put you at the head of the line again. But, as people with disabilities, we also want to help you, but you have to be listening and truly put those ideas and suggestions and guidance that we're giving you into your plan. I know this is not easy. It hasn't been easy for anybody at Air Canada. It's not fun to see your company that you work for to be slapped around and slapped with very high fines. But I think the day that we are able to drive our wheelchairs in and get buckled down is the day that, then you won't have to worry about transferring people. That is the day that you won't worry about more fines. That is the day that we're going to be able to be at peace, that we can just ride onto the airplane, back up, and get locked in and strapped down. That is the day that all these fines and all these consequences and the black eyes and the mudslinging is going to stop. So I think it's critical for any airline, not just Air Canada, but all the other airlines to offer as testers for Delta in the United Kingdom to test this new type of seat. And then gradually as you go along, you can, change things and adapt things and give feedback to Delta, so they can put it in their reports. So, Air Canada, I think you can do it. You are up there with, quality service. So this is one area in which you really have to work on. And you have to be willing from inside, not intellectually, but within, that you really want to do this, from the bottom of the barrel to the top. You really need to be invested and say, yes, this is going to help. This is going to help me as a person, as an employee of Air Canada. This is going to help our customers have a better experience and want to fly Air Canada again. Because I've heard some comments here and there. As a person with disabilities, I'm going to avoid Air Canada as many times as I can, and that's something you don't want. You don't want that, and we don't want that. You're a large airline, and we need you. We need you within Canada and outside of Canada. So, ask us how we can support you. Ask us how we can help you improve. And tell us what has been working for you up until now. So, Air Canada, put your best foot forward, put your best minds together, and put these plans into action, and we'll start to give feedback. And there is a section on their website in which you can email them or send them a report or some feedback about the services you received as a person with disabilities. Air Canada needs that feedback now so that they can improve their plan as they go up to and all the way to 2026. So I invite anyone who flies on Air Canada to please go to their website and find that little link, and I'll find the page for you and put the link under the description box so that, you know, if you've flown Air Canada recently and you want to send in your experiences, please do so, because Air Canada really right now needs to begin to tighten the ropes and tighten how they do this. So that is my report on Canada and this specific airline, in which they've struggled. They've had a lot of difficulties in the past year alone. So Air Canada seems to be putting some different things they'll be doing in this year in 2024. So let's see how it all goes. But please don't hesitate to send your feedback to Air Canada, because they need to know how things are going, what has been said, how things have been done, things that could have been better, etc. You all know. So thank you, everyone, for spending this few moments with me to listen how Air Canada is doing and what they have committed to. And I'll be putting several links on the underneath the description box so you can look at the various articles and look at the plan that Air Canada has in place, and so that you are aware, and so you're looking for that actually. When you go to fly in Air Canada, how was it? Did they use the tools that they stated they would use? You know, how was the staff with you? So in general, how was the service? So that feedback is going to be critical for Air Canada from this day on, from yesterday on. So, all right. Well, thank you, everyone, for spending these few moments. You know what I'd like for you to do with this little tool. If you find this website helpful and this video is helpful to you, please feel free to subscribe and to like and to make comments and suggestions, and we'll go forward. But this Monday is dedicated to a country, an airline, and to know what is improving for us as people with disabilities who use airlines of various kinds. And I'll go to a different airline, different country, and we'll see how things are really going. So thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.